I'll be honest. There was a time when my compost pile looked more like a messy pile of regrets than anything useful. Turning it felt like a workout. Tracking carbon to nitrogen ratios? Forget it. If you've ever stood over a pile of half-rotted food scraps and thought, there has to be an easier way, you're not alone. Composting doesn't have to be hard. In fact, it can be nearly effortless, and still deliver black, crumbly, worm-friendly gold to your soil. Have you ever tried lazy composting, or do you have your own shortcut that's worked wonders? Let me know in the comments. I love seeing what other gardeners are doing to make life easier and soil richer. So today on Soil Doctor, we're going to dig into 5 lazy composting methods that actually work. No heavy turning, no fancy bins, and definitely no spreadsheets. Whether you're a busy gardener, a senior who needs something low maintenance, or just plain tired, these field-tested methods will rebuild your soil quietly in the background while you focus on enjoying your garden. This one is for those who believe nature knows best. The cold composting method is as easy as making a pile and walking away. I had a corner in my yard where I tossed leaves, pulled weeds, banana peels, and eggshells without much thought. 6 months later, I stuck my shovel in and pulled up dark, earthy compost crawling with red wigglers. There's no need to turn the pile weekly. Let rainfall handle the moisture and microbial activity will do the rest. It takes longer than hot composting, sometimes 6 to 12 months, but it requires no effort. It's perfect if you don't need compost urgently, but still want to convert kitchen and garden waste into rich organic matter over time. And it builds microbial life slowly, which many gardeners swear leads to a more diverse living soil. This one honestly changed everything for me when I was planting vegetables. Instead of digging trenches for crops, I dug small trenches just to bury kitchen scraps. A week's worth of peels, coffee grounds, and vegetable trimmings disappeared into a shallow trench between my tomato rows. No smell, no pests, no maintenance. Trench composting works because you're directly feeding the soil microbes where your plants need them most, right in the root zone. As the buried material breaks down, it releases nutrients slowly and improves the structure of surrounding soil. You've probably heard the term lasagna gardening, and yes, it's as delicious for your soil as it sounds. The idea is to layer organic matter directly on top of the soil in alternating green and brown layers, just like you would with compost. Only difference? You don't need a bin or even a pile, you're composting in place. One fall, I laid down cardboard followed by chopped leaves, grass clippings, coffee grounds, and a bit of unfinished compost. I watered it once and, honestly, just ignored it after that. This method improves soil structure and suppresses weeds, all while feeding the soil biology from above. You're basically mimicking what happens naturally in forests, where leaves fall, decompose, and nourish the soil without any human help. I discovered in situ composting during a lazy summer. I had a raised bed that was underperforming, so instead of pulling everything out, I started burying banana peels, old lettuce, and even paper towel scraps right into open spots between plants. This method works beautifully because you're creating mini compost zones inside the bed itself. The worms and microbes are drawn to these pockets, and as the material breaks down, roots nearby benefit. Even if you want to do hot composting, you don't have to baby it. I've used a black plastic bin in the sun and just tossed in food scraps, grass clippings, and shredded paper without any mixing. I might give it a stir once every few weeks when I walk by, but that's it. The beauty of a passive bin is that it stays tidy and contained while still producing usable compost. Just don't overthink it. Skip the thermometer, ignore the ratios, and let it take care of itself. Here's the thing, composting is just decomposition. Whether you manage it tightly or let it unfold slowly, nature will always do the job. Microbes, fungi, and worms are the true workers, and all they need is food, air, and moisture. When you use any of these lazy methods, you're letting natural systems restore the soil at their own pace. often with better results than micromanaging the process. The key benefit to these approaches is consistency. You can keep adding material regularly without creating extra work, and over time, your soil will become richer, hold water better, and grow stronger plants. Earthworms multiply, microbial networks thrive, and your garden becomes a living ecosystem. If you've ever burned out on composting, or you've just avoided it because it seemed too complicated, try one of these lazy methods. You'll be amazed how much your soil improves without the hassle. And if your compost bin is already full of regret, maybe it's time to dig a trench, start a lasagna bed, or just let nature take over. Don't forget to drop a comment below. What's your favorite low-effort composting method? Have you tried trench composting or in-situ layering? And if you found this helpful, give the video a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and re-watch anytime you need a refresher. This is Soil Doctor, your go-to for regenerative, real-world gardening tips that actually work. See you in the next one.